Hello friends, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. It is patch note day. I can't believe it. Like literally the patch notes got posted at like 3 a.m. my time or something. It was ridiculous. I had seen that yesterday they had the link to the patch notes, but when you clicked on it, it didn't bring anything up. So they were obviously working on them yesterday. And in fact, when I look at the date that it says it's posted, it was yesterday morning. So it's a bit weird, but in terms of them actually being accessible, it seems like that happened really early in the morning for me. So that was a bit of a surprise. I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, patch notes are here, so let's go through it. Let's see what extra things we're getting this update that they haven't told us yet. Okay, so we're over here on the Tales of Agrabah patch notes. It says, "Hey Valley villagers, we're so happy to have given you a first look at the Tales of Agrabah free update in our latest developer update video. Today we're sharing an even closer look in these patch notes. Prepare for your upcoming journey to the Aladdin-inspired realm, featuring an iconic duo and their trusty magic carpet, and all the adventures and perks unlocked alongside them. Join us on a magical carpet ride to discover a whole new realm and more. Disney Dreamlight Valley's Tales of Agrabah update arrives on February 26th, so let's dive in." So yes, that is tomorrow. So let's go through this new content information. The first thing is about a new realm door opening. It says travel to the Dream Castle and through the Aladdin realm door to arrive in Agrabah's market inspired by Disney's Aladdin. Aladdin and Jasmine join the valley, bringing with them new friendship quests and majestic friendship rewards. Through your realm adventures, unlock a familiar flying carpet as a companion. Very, very exciting. A variety of quests arrive to introduce you to a brand new stealthy gameplay mechanics, crafting your own Dreamlight Tapestry glider and a gem stall. Okay, this is very interesting. So we craft our own Dreamlight Tapestry glider. That is so cool. I wasn't sure if that item was going to be like a Star Path item or a premium shop item, because you do see on the key art, you see a different glider, a different magic carpet, that's it. Then obviously the magic carpet we were getting as a companion. So I kind of knew there was going to be two, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be implemented. I assumed it would be like a premium item, but the fact that it's part of, I guess, the storyline, the quest line, is really, really exciting. I'm very intrigued about the brand new stealthy gameplay mechanics. Like, how's that gonna work? I wonder if we're gonna have to do some like sneaking behind someone, like slowly approaching them, not to be seen or caught. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really not sure on this. This is very, very interesting though. I'm very excited to see how that works. That's gonna be fun. Then it says kick back and relax in a retreat of your own making with the new Oasis Star Path. Unlock resort inspired fashions, furniture, and even a few items for your animal companions. Obviously, we've seen a preview at this. I think this is going to be fun. It's not when I would have expected this kind of star path, I guess. I think again that's just me in my head thinking that we need certain seasonal items in game and thinking we don't have a lot and wanting kind of more of those. Like they did so well with the Lovely Monsters Star Path. It still has to this day some of the best items in game, and I'm not talking about the Monsters Inc. stuff. I'm talking about the lovely part of that star path, and I was really hoping we might get an expansion upon that, because that's something that I would really like. I feel like I have a vision for the kind of items that I would like in game, and I feel there's certain updates those things would tie into really nicely, and then they don't bring them, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. So again, that's probably more of a me problem, which is fine, understandable. Um, but there are some things that I kind of would have liked to have seen over a sort of resort style thing. I guess this whole like spa and oasis style path, I guess it does make sense to Aladdin and Jasmine. I just feel like it brings too much of a summery vibe that I'm just, whilst it's kind of negative degrees outside, I'm not really into. And I understand half of the world is experiencing, you know, summer right now. I get it, but this is about me, guys. I am joking there. I'm joking there. I'm just trying to be funny. Um, but serious, like in all seriousness, I just think in my own head, I had a vision, and it hasn't come through, and that's fine. That is, as I said, that's a me problem. That's me needing to manage my own expectations for the game. Either way, I'm sure I will love the items. The ones that we did see, some of the items looked very, very nice, so I am very happy about it. It just has me questioning, what are we gonna get in the summer kind of thing. But I'm excited either way. I mean, new stuff is always good. And then it says spring into action with a new in-game event and the return of the extravaganza. Now, when we heard about the two events, I did have a feeling one was going to be the extravaganza. But it says search your valley for clovers and eggs, craft and unlock unique rewards, and make Wally's day. Interesting. So are these coming at the same time or different? Because it says search your valley for clovers and eggs, which kind of to me reads like at a similar time, at least in my head. That could be my dyslexia coming through. The way they say that to me implies that they're at the same time, like you would be looking for clovers and eggs. So is it just an expansion upon the extravaganza or not? Are they completely unrelated? I don't know. Because they do say a new in-game event and the return of extravaganza, but there's no reason why they couldn't tie them in together kind of thing. Um I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I mean, clovers could be, if they're not together, clovers could be St. Paddy's Day thing. Like it could be to do with St. Paddy's Day, maybe. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm getting a very like Irish vibe kind of thing. So, but would they do that? Would they put an event in game for that? I don't know. Um, Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of this? The weekly Dream Snap challenges in Tales of Agrabah will help you thaw off that winter chill and kickstart spring. That's going to be fun. It'll be nice to have some spring themed Dream Snap challenges. It's nice to think that their Dream Snap challenges might be on theme or seasonal, because usually they're quite late with that. Speaking of spring, keep an eye on new and returning spring themed merch in Scrooge McDuck's store. Okay, new and returning. What does that mean? Because returning makes it sound like there was an item that was there and no longer there. Like, that to me is what returning means. Because, like, realistically, everything should still be in the store. I know there were some items that were removed for obvious reasons, like the teapot, because that was a limited time reward thing. But the way they say returning spring themed merch in the Scrooge store implies there was spring themed merch previously that has been taken out. But what was there? When did they announce that? I don't know. I'm curious. Unless the items for extravaganza are going to suddenly be in the Scrooge store. I don't know. Again, let me know what you think of this returning statement. I'm very curious. Adjusted available Moonstone packs to introduce a new option that includes both Moonstones and a seasonal Valley inspired cosmetic item. This pack will be offered for a limited time, and different seasonal cosmetic items may be offered with future updates. I knew it. I called it. I had a feeling we were going to get one. I was like, we didn't actually have one for a little while now. Like, we didn't have one in the last update. So I think when they said about seasonal, I think they mean like every 3 months basically, almost, or at least within the 3-month timeline, because it's kind of like quarterly. So you kind of get in a bundle for the winter time, a bundle for the spring, bundle for summer, bundle for autumn kind of thing, if that makes sense. I had a feeling when we didn't get it last time, I was like, this is what they mean by seasonal. So that will be interesting to see what that is. I see what they're doing. They're doing this so that it includes both. It's a new option. I still believe that if you buy anything from that Moonstone pack above, so say if you buy the largest size pack, that large size pack should also include the Valley Inspire cosmetic item. That's just my opinion, because I just feel like if you're spending more on the game, you should get the same reward as someone who spends less, kind of thing. But we'll just see how it works. We'll see if it will be the same as last time. Now we have some information about the improvements. So we have improvements to cooking. Hungry for more with Tales of Agrabah, we're also improving your cooking experience. Scroll no more, you can now locate any recipe with a new search bar. It's now also easier to find meal requests, be they restaurant orders or quests, with the new sort in tabs. What's that? You want to cook more meals with less hassle? Yes, chef. Queue up a variety of meals for a small dreamlike cost with the all-new slow cooker. Save your rarer resources. Recipes with generic requirements will select suitable ingredients, prioritizing the highest quantity of resources available. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. The last one being something that I'm extremely excited for, which will probably surprise a lot of people. So we can locate a recipe with a search bar. That is good. I don't think there's anything wrong with the search bar. I think it will speed up a lot of processes. I never had that much of an issue looking for recipes, because my recipes were always in alphabetical order just based on the categories. I had a lot of people saying theirs weren't in alphabetical order. Mine always were. Mine were always alphabetical. So if you were looking for coconut cake, you just needed to look in the C section of the desserts, and I found that quite easy. The only thing I had trouble with was if something that I was unsure if it was an appetizer or a entree. Because I do think there are some dishes that come under like each category that I think would be better in the other. So that was the only thing I had an issue with, but it wasn't that difficult, I would argue. But I play on PC. Scrolling isn't an issue for me. I do believe scrolling on the other consoles is slow or something, I've heard, so that could be why. I do think it's a brilliant addition. For me personally, the place that needs a search bar is Scrooge's shop. I think Scrooge's shop needs a search bar more than Remy's ever did. However, the next thing about easier to find meal requests, be they restaurant orders, is something that I wanted for the longest time, because the amount of times I would, okay, you want this, this, and this, and then go to cook it and then go, what did they want again? Like that happened too often. So for me, that is definitely a good thing. The next thing about the variety meals in the slow cooker, I think this is good. I think this is good. I've heard people make the argument that, this makes Eternity Isle redundant because now you can get a slow cooker effectively in the base game. I don't think it makes Eternity Isle redundant. I wasn't buying Eternity Isle for a slow cooker, for a vacuum, or anything like that. I bought Eternity Isle for the characters, for the story. That's my opinion. Anything else that gets added with it is just kind of like a bonus in my eyes. Like I said, that might be quite a controversial take, but for me, if they want to make vacuums, cookers, anything like that base game, go for it. Go for it. I'm more than happy for them to do it. I personally, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Obviously it costs Dreamlight. Not sure how I feel about it at the moment, because the last Star Path did require a lot of dreamlike tasks, like things like crafting like of the potions. Like there was lots of things, and it kind of makes me wonder, especially with the floating islands this update, are people going to feel a bit Dreamlight broke kind of thing? But Dreamlight makes the most sense for this. If you're having it base game, Dreamlight is the thing that makes sense for the cost. Um, so I think, yeah, I think realistically it does make sense. I think this is a great addition. I'm curious if we're only going to be able to get one or if we'll be able to get multiple. Because when you have the slow cookers with Eternity Isle, you can make multiple of them. But with this, are we only going to be able to make one slow cooker? Are we going to be able to make multiple? Someone left a comment on one of my tips videos, preparing for the update. They left a comment that Senpai had suggested having 3 cookers, one with entrees, one with appetizers, one with desserts, and have them as 5-star meals. And then whenever you're doing the star path and you have the tasks like cook 10 5-star meals or cook 10 entrees or whatever it may be, you've always got something in your slow cooker that will work for it. Because any of the tasks that are like, I'll cook 3-star meals, will accept anything that's 3-star and above kind of thing. So that was the best tip I've ever heard, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm curious if we're gonna be able to have multiple. That's my question. Can we have more? Can we have more than one? And the save your rarer resources. Now, for me, this is an absolute game changer. It drives me up the wall that whenever I have a seasoning, it's always that seasoning that you get from Eternity Isle. What is it called? Cumin? Like, that's the one that comes up first, and it's always the seasoning that I have the least of, and it's so hard to keep in stock. And then suddenly you've got to cook a recipe that is using that specific seasoning, and you don't have any because all the rest have been they've been taken in dishes that didn't quite need it. So for me, this is the biggest game changer of all. I think this is absolutely fantastic. It's also going to save people who, for instance, have accidentally cooked their Christmas fish, their special fish, because now that's not going to be the one that gets pulled in first unless you don't have any other of that specific resource. Like if it's asking for seafood, let's say for instance, and it pulls in the Christmas squid because you don't have any other seafood, well then what are you doing cooking when you don't have any other seafood? But realistically, like in my head, this is the biggest game changer of all with cooking for me. I'm very happy to see the restaurant orders, but that will only help in the star path, whereas something like this is probably going to help more generally across the board for me. Like whether it's leveling up friendship quests, whether it's cooking meals for quest lines and things like that. Like I just see this being a massive benefit, so I'm very happy about that. We then have some UI changes. We have inventory items displaying a tag as to where they're from. It's good. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. It's not something I particularly needed, but I don't see it being a negative. The next thing is better though. Items will indicate if they are a villager's favourite gift of the day, so you can be sure not to miss out on sharing gifting moments with them. This, I think, is fantastic. It's also going to make things a lot easier when you're like searching for certain items that are a villager's favourite gifts. If you're hovering over and then you see that tag kind of thing, or you're looking over and you've got that symbol for the tag, I just think that's a really good idea. So I think that's fantastic. We then also have some more features. Not one but four new not one but four new floating islands arrive in this update: Peaceful Meadow, Dazzle Beach, Glader Trust, and Forgotten Lands. I think that's fantastic. I'm so glad that they're adding in a couple of islands with water. They needed to have done that, because I still stand by. I've said this over and over again. You guys are going to be sick of me. I still stand by that we were missold over them, because they showcase water around the island, and then when you go to the islands, there's no water around the island. I'm not talking about on, I'm talking about around. And that really annoyed me, because you couldn't move villagers whose homes were water based. You couldn't use the water features like, the oasis, the frozen pond, things like that. You can't use them on the floating islands because of that water restriction. So I'm really glad that we're changing it up. So we're making our floating islands actually useful and usable. So very happy about that. Never miss out on a deal with the option to pin 2 premium shop bundles. They'll remain pinned until purchased or you decide to swap them for something else. Again, very, very happy about this. I think this is fantastic for people that might be a couple of hundred moonstones short, but don't want to buy a moonstone bundle if they're like, hold on, I just need, 10 days of collecting my moonstone chest and I'll be able to afford it. That will allow those people to be able to kind of utilize that, which I think is fantastic. Or people who go, hold on, I really want this, but I don't get paid till the end of the month. Okay, pin that item, and then at the end of the month, when you get paid, suddenly, boom, you can buy it. I think personally, this is fantastic. I like the fact that it's only 2, personally. I don't think they need to do more than that. I think for fairness sake or whatever, I think this is a good idea kind of thing. Yeah, I'm happy. I think it's a great idea. Expand your creativity indoors with new room size customization options. You'll also be able to add additional rooms to secondary houses. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we had seen about the room customization, but add additional rooms to secondary houses. Does that mean more levels? How does that work? Is that more levels? Because we already have, like, you have the main living space, you have the side and the back room. Or are they saying from now on you're only going to have a middle room in secondary houses, and if you want the others, you have to pay for them? Are they changing how houses come to the game, or are they adding the ability to add extra floors? Because if they add the ability to add extra floors, oh my gosh, what a game changer. You could actually like do things like use the just because I saw a speed build on it the other day, you could use the Safari Lodge like house skin and make that into like an actual hotel. You could get the palace house skin and make every single room themed around a different princess. You could have like a princess themed. Oh, I hope that's what it means. If it just means that they come to the game with just one room and then you have to pay for the extras, that I won't be happy about. That I don't really care for. But if they allow us to add additional floors and that's how you add the additional rooms, oh my gosh, I would scream. Oh, I need to see it. That's the first thing I need to check. Because that's probably going to incentivize me to do more creative indoor builds. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, please be what I hope and not the worst option. Please, please. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about that. We're gonna have to check that out. That's gonna be like a first thing to check. You've got less mail. This update introduces the option to remove mailboxes from secondary houses. Again, fantastic. So many people have complained about this. I love this feature because it does make it like it makes so many more of the houses more aesthetic in your valley because they're not like, especially some of the like fairy core houses like Tinkerbell's house. Tinkerbell's house doesn't need an atrocious looking mailbox. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. So yeah, super happy about that. And now wallpapers will now feature the ability to offset the center of their designs, allowing for even more flexibility when interior decorating. What I hope is that this means you can have wallpapers where the patterns align, because too often now you'll have like a wall pattern with like a shaped border kind of thing to it, a shaped pattern, and then where it reaches the end of the wall, it doesn't match with the other side of the wall. It doesn't kind of like center, and it drives me insane. It drives me insane because it just aesthetically looks horrific. So that, again, really happy about that. I'm really excited to see how that's going to work though. Now we have some important fixes, and I don't want to go through all of them. You can see some of them on the screen. I'm gonna have a link to this in the description, but there's a couple of things that I want to point out that I noticed. Firstly, the squid being able to be picked up, that's great. Being able to reach certain parts of the Fallen Fortress, again, that is really, really good. Um, this is the thing I want to point out. Fixed an issue preventing some players from receiving Dream Snap rewards. Now, I'm very curious about this because recently there has been an influx in the community of people saying that they don't get their Dream Snap rewards. They'll be like, it says it's not there. I'm hoping this is what this is relating to, because so many people are submitting and they have proof of submitting, and Gameloft are just kind of washing their hands of it when you contact them through support. Which is really bad, because I appreciate they might go, hold on, we haven't got anything on our end, so we can't give you Moonstone rewards because technically your snap has never been voted on because it never went through our system. But they should give out the pity amount of at least 300, in my opinion. If I was giving out good customer service and someone could send through proof of a submission, then yeah, I think personally that is something that they should be doing. And I mean, it's such an easy thing to for them to as well look into making sure people can prove it by having, like, you know, when you submit your Dream Snap reward, everyone has their own unique user ID, so it could come up on that and say blah 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 user ID, whatever it may be, and then submitted and the time and everything else. Like, just add that little indicator thing. um and like I said, then if people do have that issue, they can literally just go, hold on, I recorded proof that it's submitted, it shows my user ID, and then they can get their pity amount of 300. I just think that would be a helpful thing to do. Another thing that I do want to briefly point out, it's not really as exciting, I would say, but now animal companions will work on floating islands. Previously, the animal companions, when you went onto the floating island, only the one you had with you would show up. If you put any in the houses, they wouldn't load in, basically. So this is good. This is going to make it a lot better for people like me that use floating islands for dream snaps and stuff. This is going to be a big game changer. Okay, yeah, looking through this, most of the others are things like naming issues of items, issues with some of the quests, and things like that. So, as I said, I will have a link to the patch notes in the description below if you do want to go over them. You know, perhaps there's an issue you've faced. But yeah, it's quite good to see some of the patches, and I'm really intrigued about that Dream Snaps one, because I do wonder if that was the issue, because like I said, just recently I've seen a massive influx of reports, at least I have personally. So I'm very, very excited for this update. I am very intrigued if there's going to be any other hidden and secret changes. Of course, if I find any, and I find enough to make a video, when I say find any, I mean at least 5, then I'll do a video on that. Obviously, if you find any, feel free to share it in the Discord and things like that. But I always like a hidden extra. I love seeing the patch notes to see what we're going to get, and then I love, like, seeing if anything else comes. And one of my biggest hopes that eventually we will get is to use mannequins outdoors. I pray for that day. I pray and pray. One day I hope it will come. It's just something I really want. But I'm very excited for this update. I'm excited for the changes that are coming. I'm excited to get Aladdin and Jasmine. Let me know, what are you most excited for this update? What are you looking for? Is it going to be friendship rewards? Is it going to be items in Scrooge's shop? Is it going to be Aladdin and Jasmine themselves? Or is it perhaps the slow cooker, the search bar? Like, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you've got to say and what you're excited for. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video here. I hope you have a wonderful update, and I'm looking forward to exploring the update with you all. Bye, guys!